Hail, hail, the Celtics are here, and what the hell do we care now, McBride? It is the dawn before battle day, or game day as it is more commonly referred to, and we're sitting here, we're past the deadline, teams are locked in, we've got a couple of tickets to give away, but it's Glasgow Derby weekend, and we thought we'd get together, do a wee live stream, and have a wee preview of the game, chew the fat, predict the 11s, maybe predict a scoreline or two as well, who knows, but yeah, it's been a while since we've both been on the channel. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And McBride, great to see you.
Yeah.
Hail, hail.
Season's greetings. Let's hope that tomorrow night we're not actually greeting. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a good Christmas. Aye, good to be back on. So we've not been on for a wee while, but it's been a busy spell and obviously Christmas and everything as well. But a huge game. Huge game tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
It is, and it's one of those ones that's kind of snuck up on us a little bit. Like we've kind of seen the fixture list building towards this game. Obviously, we've got St Mirren after this before the little break, as it were. But it kind of has all of a sudden after Hearts, Livingston, Dundee. It just feels like those games all kind of happened in the blink of an eye, you know. And now we're here, and it's like, oh, Jesus. And I think I was saying to you guys, but I was getting ready for the game since after and. Since the Dundee match, you've then got the kind of the aftermath of that and getting your thoughts together for right, how will we actually figure in this derby? And I've not felt confident after watching the Dundee match or really the Livingston match. They've not done much to make me feel any better post Hearts, if you get me. So
yeah,
it's a funny one. It's a funny one we're coming into. How are you feeling?
Like to be honest, going to Ibrox, I was pretty worried earlier on in the season. I really was worried, and Lagerbielke went in there with Scales, and this was before Scales put in better performances this season, and it really wasn't sort of confident there at all. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm confident or whatever, but I think what people forget is that this is a hard game for Rangers as well. We'll come back to projected lineups and how we think the game will shake out and all that type of stuff. Vickers not been available is obviously a blow, but I think there's injuries on both sides. Celtic have had a sticky patch. I'm not even on the Guinness. I'm on the water, look. I'm on the Ronaldo. We're on the Guinness later. But a sticky patch, but we've come out of that with a couple of clean sheets, and I thought there was some negative comments about the game against Dundee, for example, but realistically we could have scored 5 or 6, and it wasn't one of those games where, against Kilmarnock, for example, it looked as if when Kilmarnock were going forward, they were really dangerous and we were looking dodgy at the back and all that type of stuff. We really have controlled the games. So I think, and I was saying this to you before we come on, I think everybody's got to go tomorrow, get behind the team and be proper up for it. The Green Brigade are back. Notice the difference in terms of the atmosphere for the Livingston game. It's a Celtic Rangers game. People will naturally be up for it. And let's see how Rangers actually handle that, because we went to Ibrox, we won 1-0 and we handled it, and that's put us in this position where even though we've slipped up recently, it's still in the mixing pot. But I'm not. I'm really looking forward to the game, and I think that it'll be a good game. I don't think it'll be one of these 0-0-1 games. I think there'll be goals in it. I think it'll be exciting, and I think Celtic will be going for it.
I really want to believe you, mate. And I'm really there with you. Normally that's me. Normally I'm coming into derby matches and I'm thinking 4-0. We'll do them. We're way better at football. We've got better players, and as long as we actually play football, we'll do the business and we'll do the damage. But like, even with the Dundee game, mate, I just can't get out of my head. If Mikey Johnson doesn't come off the bench, that game's 1-0. And it's not 3-0, and that's a totally different kettle of fish. Then it's only really those goals that changed that whole game. I thought I was pulling my hair out watching it. Obviously, we've got lineups and there's some other, you're looking for a wee bit of AA to go your way here and there and whatever else, right? But that aside, watching the game, I was pulling my hair out. It just felt like, like Dundee offered nothing. Like they were in no danger of getting anything from the game, but they equally, I don't really think we did too much until Mikey Johnson came on. Really, so I don't know. I really want to be there with you. What did give me a little bit of hope is this maybe where we start. I don't know. Do we start by looking at how they are predicted to line up? Because this is the first thing that gave me a wee bit of a pep in my step thinking about the game.
Why not? I mean, back to the Dundee game. Honestly, I know what you're saying, but O'Reilly's put Furuhashi through. He just missed the post. Scales has had a header. I was up celebrating. I thought it was in. it's not as if it was a 0-1 and we've not had a shot on target or whatever. I was contradicting myself because they went past post, but they were good chances, and we were sort of making chances. We were dominating with loads of corners. We were in control of the game. You never felt like it was going to be one of those games where actually, you're going to end up getting beat 2-1 or whatever. So total domination, and there's nothing you can do about teams that come in and sit in. But interestingly, Celtic's biggest problems this season really have been trying to break down blocks and stuff. And I don't know how will Rangers play under Clement. I haven't seen them much. I did watch the game against Betis, and they did pretty well to win that game. Although I'm not saying in the balance of it they deserve to win, but they ground out the result. So maybe they'll come with different tactics, or under Beale didn't seem to have any tactics, so like maybe they'll come with a different game plan or whatever. But let's get the projected Rangers lineup up, etc., and we'll have a look at it, because you can look at all the stuff Celtic's side of things, but you might have like no goals and that. I'm not convinced. I'm not. But yeah, Celtic, I guess, haven't been ultra convincing either. So
yeah. It's the midfield is what I felt a lot better by, when I think if this is the team they're going to be lining up, a back four of Yilmaz, Suter, Balogun, and Tavernier, or whatever we call him. I don't think that's the strongest kind of defence. I actually think that's a decent defence for us to play against, in terms of what Rangers normally offer against us. I think that Yilmaz, Balogun, some of these guys are definitely susceptible in this match to not turning up in the best way. And then that centre mid, Dujon Sterling, who I thought they signed as a left back or a right back or something. I think he's some sort of defender. I know he's a big, stocky lad and all the rest. He's got a bit of size and presence. And next to Kieran Dowell and Todd Cantwell, like that midfield three, surely, like that just gives me a bit of hope and optimism that we might actually do a bit better in this game than maybe I maybe thought coming into it. So yeah, that's the Rangers predicted team. With Cosland on 40% to play on the right wing, or Matondo or right, but basically they're after a bit of pace on both sides here. With Sima, he's L5, 70 out of 100 rating, so he's doing pretty well on his duels, his goals, and all the rest of it. And Desser's probably in the form of his life, 72 on his last ratings. He's favoured to start up top as well. So that's how they're expected to line up.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. We know about Tavernier. It's good having Maeda back, and I hope that Rodgers clever enough to try and negate him. Palmer usually plays on the left-hand side, right? But you might have to do something tactical there and have Maeda up against Tav, because he played him out the game at Ibrox really, really well. You look across the back line, Suter shat the bed at Parkhead the last time. So he's not going to be going into this game with a lot of confidence, because he was rotten at Parkhead the last time. If Goldson is out, that's as big a blow for Rangers, surely, as Carter Vickers is for Celtic. Yilmaz, I actually think he's a decent young player and stuff, but again, it's a young guy coming to Parkhead. The midfield, I mean, I don't like, I'd McGregor, O'Reilly, etc. I know Hatati's probably not going to start, but he's available from the bench. That's an area of the game where I think you can win and lose the game in an Old Firm game, where you control the ball and all that type of stuff. What I would say is that I think Guy Sima is a really, really good player. I watched some of the European games. He's got a great goal, I think, against PSV as well, and he's looked pretty impressive. So, Rangers are well capable of scoring goals and stuff, but I think Celtic should be getting into this game thinking about us imposing our game on Rangers and keeping these guys quiet and keeping Tavernier back, or if he goes forward, exploiting the space, that type of stuff. But surely, Rangers fans are giving this big licks as if they're going to come and absolutely hammer Celtic. But if I was looking at that, I'd be thinking we're going to concede a few goals at Parkhead here. What do you think?
Yeah. I think Balogun's definitely a defender. Whenever I've seen him play against Celtic, I've always thought, how does he actually play for Rangers? Like, how have they actually signed him? I just can't believe, I don't think he's good enough for the level, to be honest with you. So, yeah, him, like I say, Suter's definitely had moments against us as well. So, yeah, for me, but it's the goalkeeper, really. Is that going to be the difference in the game? Because Rangers have conceded a lot less goals than us. And I think if you watch, I've not seen much of Rangers either. I think I've seen one or two of the Betis matches, because I've got some Betis cards. And maybe caught a wee bit of the Limassol game, maybe depending on when a kickoff time was and other matches were on and stuff.
Mm.
And I think Butland, Europe, domestically and whatever, like he is probably you could say, the best keeper on paper in the division. So we've not been that. And I know we scored 3 against Dundee, right, and whatever, but we've not been that free scoring. So that defense is going to concede a lot of shots. How many can he deal with is probably we're going to need high shot volume on target, I think, here, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good goalkeeper. I have the games I've seen Rangers, I think he's looked pretty solid. And the flip side, we've talked about Hart and everything. Maybe we'll come back to that, but maybe we'll have to save Rangers as well. Because the interesting thing is Rangers have got their tails up, and maybe if Rangers came and played a bit more defensive and tried to exploit us, that might be the work against us, if that makes sense, with having Vickers and stuff out. But if Rangers come and have a go a bit, these guys could easily get exposed. People, seeing the Celtics are here predictions saying that Abada would play over Palmer, not in a million years for me. I mean, if Abada was fit, then fair enough. But like Abada been out for months, you don't know how sharp he is, etc. So I think Hatate and Abada realistically are good game changers from the bench. So that's good, having that quality, being able to call on guys that are previously, been starters or are contributing. I trust Rodgers to set the game up, because he gets a lot of stick about playing style and stuff, and I understand that, because we don't really seem as good to watch as last season. But I think in all the big games, Champions League games, maybe exception of Atletico Madrid away from home, his tactics have been pretty good. We've kind of almost dominated both games against Lazio and stuff as well. So I don't think we should be fearing this game. I think we really should be getting into it, and remembering that Welsh came in out the cold and was on a clean sheet against Feyenoord. He took off and then conceded after he went off. So I wouldn't get any hysteria about having to go in with Welsh or whatever. I think you just got to see how the game plays out and hopefully dominate the ball and protect the defence a wee bit by being on top of Rangers rather than the other way around. So.
Yeah, this was part of the thing that didn't give me too much confidence when I was trying to think ahead, because I do think Rangers on paper and probably in reality have the best defence that we are going to play against this season. And every defence does the same thing against us, and it's just camp in deep and, don't give you any spaces, don't make any mistakes, and try and catch you on the break. And we've seen some comments that say the same stuff, but that's Rangers. They love that. That's exactly what they want to do. But they will have to take opportunities, and they will have to vacate space more than anyone else, probably. So it's, it is going to be how Clement plays the game as well. I think that it will be a wee bit hard to judge that on, because this guy, he's not been there long, and he's never played in one of these matches either. So especially with, I'm not saying he's going to do amazing or anything. We don't know what his idea of the game is going to be. Maybe they come out flying for the first 5 minutes with Dano. But yeah, so I think that's an interesting thought in that sense, in terms of the defence. From that, that's just the main thing, I think. But the difference will be at times that they will, if we get a goal or something, then it totally changes, and they have to get themselves up the pitch. They don't have fans with them, and it will have to be taking risks and probably they are making mistakes. So yeah, when the goals go in might be quite pivotal in this one. But we do have some blasphemy in the chat, which has also put me off my game a bit, which is Scales equal to Balogun, which is just honestly, I don't know. Just don't know.
Sorry.
Just don't know, DC. What I say, blasphemy is all I can call that. I don't know. Scaldini is the truth. Do not forget it. We have to score at least 2 tomorrow, says Frank Brennan. My official score prediction is 2-0. I think I would stick to that, but I don't know how we'll get a clean sheet, to be honest with you.
I think I said earlier 3-1. I mean,
yeah.
Scales has come on a lot as a player. I mean, he's had a man of the match performance in the Champions League, whether it was a dead rubber or not. And Welsh, it's not his first game back. Obviously, he's not going to be uber sharp or whatever, but he has had some minutes under his belt. I think Johnson's playing well again. I think the last couple of games performances have been better. I think Greg Taylor's Greg Taylor. I'm going to go over and over and over it type thing. But as you say, if we impose ourselves in the game, we get an early goal or whatever, then that will definitely change the dynamic of the game. And it will be interesting to see whether Rangers come and see us as vulnerable and have a go, or whether Clement a bit more clever about it and he tries to kind of sit in and exploit us in different ways. But I do think, although Maeda has not played very well since he's come back, that he's a key player in these games, because in that 1-0 game at Ibrox, Tavernier had one of the quietest games I've seen him have in an Old Firm game at home. And Maeda played a blinder against him. He was excellent, and I think that's one of the options that really helps us in this sort of more of a high level contest than playing against Dundee and Livingston and stuff. Rangers have won their Europa League group, haven't they? So they've won the group. So it's a far harder test than a lot of the previous games. But I'm glad we got the 2 wins to 0 in before this game rather than playing Rangers after the Hearts game, because I think I'd have been a lot more downhearted, albeit they were easy games. At least it starts to build a bit of confidence, get a bit of momentum back and stuff. And the Green Brigade being back involved has changed the atmosphere at the games as well, I think. So
yeah, it's always better having that involved for sure. I think Paulo
Yeah.
Bernardo's probably the only one that I feel better for after the Dundee game. I thought he was really unlucky not to get 2 goals in the match, and ultimately I thought he was really good. So I think he could do decent in this match as well. And I think he's somebody that, could have a better game. Craig here's got Palma on for being confident. I didn't see that at all over the last couple of games with Palma. I think he is I don't know if I'm just over-examining it or something like that, because I've already kind of got a position on him in that sense. But I don't know. I just think whenever I'm watching him, he does struggle to really get by. And that's the biggest problem for me in this game is where are we going to get the goal creation from? Because if we do try and play to him, him versus Tavernier is not the same as him versus Maeda, is we're talking about here. It's going to be a totally different kettle of fish. And if he has on to play, this is the way Rodgers will play them. He will play Palma on the left, he will play Maeda on the right, for better or for worse, and try and work it out as the game evolves and all that beautiful stuff. Having some weapons on the bench does help, but mixing it up with Abadas and Hitates and whatever. But it's a section of the pitch where they are obviously meant to be quite strong in, with their Hall of Fame right back that takes 1,000 penalties or 100 or whatever it is, and this guy who's struggling to really. I know he's put the numbers up, and everyone who looks at the numbers will just think he's doing amazing. But you actually watch him, he is the assist for Bernardo was a beautiful ball, and that even tells me more. That's a beautiful line breaking ball that he played for Palma to run onto into the box. This guy, maybe he's a number 10, he's an attacking mid, or he's a false 9 or something. I don't know, but he's not a winger. Let's try and get him in a better position to do the stuff he's good at, because I think you're kind of hanging him out to dry there. Perhaps with Taylor, perhaps if you get a proper bombastic left back, maybe that can help him up a bit, perhaps, who knows. But until that happens, surely there's a bit more invention to be had. Maybe, who knows? But maybe with more wingers becoming available, we'll see. But that's just where I really think Palma needs to do something in this game. He needs to really, the way he announced himself in the Champions League, getting goals and all that kind of thing. If he's going to cement that kind of stuff and really make that jersey his own and really make something of himself this season, this is a must win. Frank said it right at the beginning of the chat, and this is totally the position of the match. It is must win. Not picking up 3 points in this is failure. I won't be saying after the game, oh, you'd take a draw and some nonsense like that or whatever. Win is the only thing that matters in this game. 1-0, 2-0, 5-4, couldn't care less, really. It has to be 3 points. People, when they're through on goal, have to just hit the net, have to play each other in for tap-ins. I don't care. Don't want anyone going for glory and all that crap. They must win,
Furuhashi, I think he's got 6 goals in 6 games against Rangers as well. So I think what people forget is that we've got guys that have got good records in these games. Matt O'Reilly always plays well against Rangers. Furuhashi steps up in big games. So these games can be about performance on the day. It's not about looking at that and saying, who do you think's a better team on that? It's played out tomorrow. It's played out at Parkhead. Played out a really partisan home atmosphere as well. So Celtic should be getting on top of Rangers and not worrying so much about what's going to happen the other way, and that we should be trying to create and score goals early doors. And Palma, the thing with Palma is that we might be rotten for 20 minutes tomorrow and put one right into the top bag out for 20 yards out. He has contributed a lot of goals and assists already. He also scored against Lazio and they get chopped off for, otherwise you could have been talking about him as more of a hero. But 7 goals and 9 assists in a short time here that's pretty good. So we know his style of play, we know his other limitations, we know he's maybe not quite the same style as Jota in terms of going by guys and all that sort of stuff. But we also know that he's capable of delivering goals and assists, and that's what we're looking for. Tomorrow we're looking to score a few goals and win the game. That's the whole objective. So yeah, I mean,
end product. There's no doubt about it, but it's getting the most out of him, because I do think, like, for some reason as well, like, you look at this and you think, wow, this guy's doing great, lots of assists, and you think about the Celtic team, how we've been built, and the better players in the team, you would naturally think, oh, well, the strikers must be absolutely feasting with a guy like this. If this is a creative winger, it creates lots of chances and all the rest of it. But you just need to look at, like, Kyogo. Look at this, like, over the last, wrong page. Over the last, what's this, 3 months or so?
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. You know what I mean?
He's not been in good form, and also he's missed a few chances as well. You would think usually he would put that away. You see goal scored at Ibrox, the ball dropped and it was just an instinctive, I'm going to blooter it type one. But the ones where he's maybe through and goal, or he's got a deft finish to make or whatever, the less instinctive ones, it looks as if he's maybe a wee bit low in confidence. But, you just don't know. Is it because we're not creating enough chances for him? Or is he just going through a spell like forwards or strikers do, where he's a wee bit shorter in confidence? But I really do think that even having Hatate available at some point is going to help the likes of Furuhashi, because, when Furuhashi was really firing, you guys like Hatate and Maeda and, dare I say, Jota in the team. So maybe once he gets some of these guys back that he's got a good relationship with, that might also help him, because Hatate's a guy who can get forward, take the ball on the turn, create certain things. So he is more of a creative midfielder than some of the other guys, which is quite positive. I don't agree at all, Frank, that O'Reilly's failed to turn up in Old Firm games. The last Old Firm game was at Ibrox and Matt O'Reilly was man of the match, so that's just shite, honestly. I mean, like, Matt O'Reilly, who was the game we beat where Jota scored? Matt O'Reilly put the ball through to Jota, and Jota dinked the goalkeeper. The last game at Ibrox, Matt O'Reilly was outstanding. It was unbelievable. He had like 8 interceptions. It was incredible. It was so good. Right. So you can't say he doesn't play well against Rangers. He does. He turns up in games like this. He turned up against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. He played well in the Champions League. So he's more than good enough for a game like this tomorrow. I don't get that comment at all. So I think, and we need a big game from him. I think, he missed a good chance against Livingston. He was a bit unlucky. He put Furuhashi through. Could have really got an assist against Dundee, because Furuhashi finishes that, he's got an assist. But I don't think you can say O'Reilly doesn't turn up against Rangers. He was outstanding at Ibrox, so he's definitely got a record of getting goals or assists against Rangers. And the game at Ibrox had to play a lot deeper, from what I remember, because we were under the cosh. I thought it was brilliant.
I think there's a good the L5 is good, but the L6 takes a hit with a sub appearance there. But there's L5 against Rangers, 2 big peaks, 2 high ones, and one kind of, was it a 42 or something, or 48? I think he's been good against Rangers. Just looking at stats, just for a quick synopsis before you. It's not all about stats, obviously, but watching the game, you see him. And the thing as well with the thing with O'Reilly, I think, in a lot of our midfield, even McGregor's getting a bit of this. And now I see a lot of people saying stuff like McGregor's not really been firing on all cylinders this season. McGregor's not really been any different to last season, really. But I think expectations are always changing with McGregor, because he goes through little spells when the team's in full capacity and he can do a bit more. And then all of a sudden it isn't, so he can't, and it's sometimes missing that connection of, like, he's obviously able to do more because, there's better players around him, fit and available, quality, all that stuff the manager's talking about all the time, Even
when Iwata was playing, like, McGregor had a good spell, because even O'Reilly in a way looked a wee bit better as well, because Sawata wasn't doing anything special, but he was allowing them to play a wee bit, which was quite interesting. And if it doesn't work in the first half tomorrow, whatever, you could give Hatate 45 minutes. I don't think if he's in the squad, 45 minutes or whatever you wouldn't have thought would be beyond him at this stage. He has been out for a while, but you've got some potential game changers in the bench, I think, which is good. Abada actually does, like, he's another guy who has turned up and scored some big goals against Rangers as well. So it was a game where we were like 3-0 up at like half time, and he ghosted in at back post and scored the goal, and so he brings a wee bit of kind of movement from right wing if you want to bring him on at some point. Even Maeda, I wouldn't say has been brilliant in Old Firm games, but what he does is he does something that goes pretty unnoticed sometimes, because realistically, if you keep Tavernier quiet, you're nullifying a lot of what Rangers' threat is as well. Barisic been out. He's a guy on the left-hand side who can put in a bit of delivery there as well. So I think that's going to be the key to the game, is because we're not good at stuff like set pieces and cross balls, and Joe Hart, like, it doesn't seem to be kind of commanding the area type thing. See the goal against Hearts, Shankland scored. It wasn't really marked at the back post. That seems to be our kind of Achilles heel. So stopping the supply of that coming in for the wide areas and stuff will make a difference in terms of like Scales and Welsh if you protect them properly. So
yeah, Lagerbielke not in this visual because he was just that bad. He wasn't included on the graphics for this one. And Hendo's in the house asking what we think of the midfield situation. I think that if they're playing Dowell and Sterling in there, then I think that really does give us probably more opportunity to create from midfield than we would have against some of their better midfielders. Also, don't seem to be available. So I think, like Cantwell, Dowell, and Sterling, that's not a centre three that O'Reilly, Bernardo, and McGregor should have, should struggle with. The main thing is always going to be turnovers into the wide areas. Somebody was mentioning earlier playing diagonals into them, but they were doing that. And again, there was another mention. I think it was from a Wallace. What Wallace was it? Robert was saying that he fancies them to stick Sima onto Taylor. I could see that happening all day, and then they just ping diags from left to right on their perspective. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a wee bit of unknown from come on. You just don't really know exactly how he will try and string the game on. Maybe they do that later in the match. You might not start with it necessarily. Maybe I plan to use later in the game or something. So interesting points, a few interesting dynamics on both defences, really, because with Welsh coming in, I fancy Welsh and Scales to do well against Dessers and all the rest of it from open play and set pieces. Like, hey, Welsh and Scales are probably the biggest centre-back pairing we could make, I think, on paper. I don't think Vickers is bigger than either of them on height and all the rest of it. So gives us a wee bit more presence, because normally playing them, it is about getting kicked up the pitch. Again, I think Frank was talking about that earlier. It's all about that physical, footprint over the pitch. And if that's their midfield with Dowell and Cantwell and then Sterling the left back or whatever, like, I think we'll probably do a bit better on that aspect of this game.
Yeah, I've not seen much of Dowell. I know he's had a couple of good scores in Sorare, so I haven't really seen much of him. It's probably unfair to comment. Cantwell, I think, is a good player when he's on the ball, but I think he's not so good out with the ball. So you look at the game there. You're just talking about Raskin, Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack, dare I say, it's my big guy. It's going to do a bit of the donkey work for somebody like Cantwell, who's probably
Cifuentes and Lundstrom on the bench in that game as well, unused.
Yeah, so Cifuentes is still injured, and I don't know. I think Lundstrom took quite a bad tackle, so I don't think he's going to make it. And also, you were saying about the set pieces and stuff, but if Goldson's out, I mean, Balogun's a big guy, but John Souttar's not really a big guy. He's quite a strong player, but he's not got height. So the thing with Welsh is, I think Welsh is a decent player. People sort of deride him, but he was Scottish under-21 captain, and I think it looks okay sometimes. I mean, the Feyenoord game I watched him, I was at the game and thought he played pretty well, but he's not as strong as, say, Starfelt. Starfelt was strong, so he could handle a physical contest and stuff like that. So it's going to be about how Scales and Welsh manage to handle Dessers, but also what's the supply in there. If we get on their midfield and the ball doesn't come in, then Dessers going to have the same problem as Furuhashi's been having in some of these games without any real service. So it depends how that plays out. But it's all on the day. I mean, like, I can understand because we let the league lead come back down that people are more apprehensive and all that type of stuff. But we did win at Ibrox, and we've got a really good record recently in Old Firm games at home. So I'm getting the cans out in the morning. I'm going to shout and come home and hopefully not be in a state to speak to my wife, either through shouting or Guinness, either or whatever.
Well, hopefully it's always for the better reasons. And I think Reese is drinking the same team as me. A wee bit worried. Not worried necessarily, but yeah, not that buzzing about. I'm not that buzzing either. I don't know how to put it into words, but it's just not like, I'm not expecting us to turn up and roll them over 4-0 like I normally do, basically, you know. So, but we do actually have a competition that we'll be doing at the end of the stream as well, guys. We've been on for about half an hour. We'll see how much longer we've got to go. It's on Instagram at Quinny3001 _. There's also a link in the description of the stream that will take you straight to it if you're watching on a device or something like that. All you need to do is share it to your story. Make sure you follow me there, like and comment, all that good stuff. Get involved with it. And one person will win 2 tickets to the game tomorrow. Easy peasy is that. All you need to do is get involved on Instagram. So if you're here watching the live stream now, jump over on YouTube, sorry. Make sure to get involved with that. We'll be drawing the winner, you know, before we shoot off. And, you know, I think we're not too far off the end anyway, McBride. So I think we've kind of chewed over a lot of the main kind of things with the squad. I don't think there's going to be any surprises in the starting 11, is there?
I really don't think so. I don't know if it was you or one of the guys that put out the sort of tweet and said that think that Abada will start. I just can't see Abada starting. I mean, even when Maeda came back, he started on the bench and then he started and he get 60 minutes. And, you know, it would be great to feel that maybe Hatate and Abada were ready, but the likelihood is they won't be ready because they've not really played any football for a good number of weeks. So I think that they're going to be guys that will look to maybe come on, maybe when there's some tired legs out there, or just to change the game or to freshen things up later on, or get some minutes under their belt type thing. But it's good to have that type of quality on the bench again, because you look at the previous games and you're kind of looking at it, you think, you know, I know Jota went, but we did spend some money in the summer, and you look at the bench, you think that's a bit, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not, you know, the game against Hearts, we brought on Bernabei, you know, he was playing as a left winger, and then he ended up going back to left back and stuff, and you're going, yeah, you know, we should be able to do better on that, you know, even though there's a few injuries and things. I think we with the money we've got available and all that sort of stuff, we should be able to do a bit better on that. So let's see. And then, you know, you get that win, you're guaranteed to go in to the break ahead, and then people will be feeling a bit better about the situation then. And I think I agree with you. Rangers are really, really, really proficient in beating the other teams in Scotland. So you don't want to give Rangers a lead, because then you're going to be a situation where if you go to Ibrox and you lose, then the league might be over type scenario, you know. Not actually over, but like unrealistic in terms of winning the league. So I think you've got
Dangerous.
you've got to take the home advantage and put the points on the board. That's what we need to do, I think.
Yeah, win at all costs. That's what it's all about tomorrow. Get the goals. I think the main route to go on this one, the main way to win this match, is start quick and fast. Try and get a goal. Try and get 2 as quickly as possible, and just really take any hope that they've got of anything away quickly in the match. Because the longer they've got something to hold on to, the dicier it gets. The more the crap free kicks and stupid yellows and daft throw-ins and all that crap starts to become the match. And some of these derby matches, man, they trundle out really tight scoring. Like, obviously we only won 1-0 last time, and it's not really too much to suggest it might be that different in terms of like flow of the game and all the rest of it. You know, if, like I say, we're not free scoring at the moment, you know.
Yeah.
And they might not necessarily come out all attacking from the first whistle.
I think though that if you start taking guys like Carter Vickers and Goldson out of each defence, then you're weakening the defence. I mean, Rangers got away with Tavernier being a bit gung ho sometimes, for want of a better word. You know, he's a very attacking right back, but you know, they're maybe a bit reliant on guys like Goldson, etc., being there and being able to scoop up for that. But you know, looking at the teams just kind of screams to me as if there's going to be a couple of goals. I don't know. I'm not ever really confident at the moment that Celtic are going to keep a clean sheet. We've had 2 in a row, but realistically, Livingston never need a shot on target. You know, he's archaic tactics of we'll just sit and hope that we get a draw from like just Celtic not scoring, and then Dundee, you know, allowed Celtic really to kind of dominate the game, which I was a bit surprised about because Kilmarnock kind of had a bit of a go at Celtic in many ways, and Celtic looked as if they were getting exposed, particularly like, you know, the guy was at Armstrong playing against Greg Taylor, and he was getting loads of joy, and they were creating chances and all that type of stuff. So there we go. I say I'm not saying I'm confident, but I'm not feeling the same way as you are. I'm not on the Guinness yet either. So there we go.
Well, I'd say the midfield for them gives me a bit of hope, and I say if we do just come out the traps firing like right quick, then I think well, I'll feel silly for feeling cautious. But yeah, it needs to happen first, I suppose. Yeah. So I think, my official, I was sticking with a score prediction of 2-0, and I can't really imagine a clean sheet, but I still can't really, I think Welsh and Scales will be fine. I don't really see, you know, if everyone turns up and does their bit, like they shouldn't be like ripping us open and creating lots of chances and stuff like that. You know, it is going to be like a set piece, a direct free kick, a penalty. It's going to be a quick, random, stupid thing that might happen. But yeah, we've kind of snuffed them out over the last couple of games, so I've still got a little bit of hope, I guess. But yeah, I'm probably sticking with 2-0 is what I'm hoping for than anything, I guess.
I'm going to go 3-1, but I think, like you were saying about starting quickly and things, I want to see us getting a few goals up, and then if we do concede the one, it's irrelevant, that type of thing. Like, you know, not going behind early and the fans are getting on our back and all that sort of stuff. And to Reece saying about Novrocky, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird situation that, I mean, he brought in Lagerbielke for the Champions League game. I said before, it worked against Novrocky getting the injury at the time he got it, because he wasn't selected for the Champions League squad either. So there was a point where Nat Phillips played one of the games, and you could see that he was clearly getting minutes ahead of the Champions League game because Novrocky wasn't even available for that. So Rodgers says things like, this guy's not up to speed or whatever, but that could just mean that he's had a bad injury and he's not doing that well. Maybe he just, you know, doesn't think Lagerbielke's good enough or whatever. I don't know. It seems to be that he's not even putting him on the bench. So, and he brought Welsh straight back in from the abyss, hadn't played a game or whatever, and played him against Feyenoord, albeit it was more of a dead rubber. So he's made his thoughts clear on the summer signings and stuff there. And if he really doesn't fancy these guys, are young enough to hopefully turn them over and get a fee back or whatever and just move on. But my honest opinion, seeing Novrocky when he played, was that I thought he looked quite comfortable on the ball. I thought he looked a good signing. So, but he's after that, he's had an injury and he's not featured. But I wouldn't write him off. I think that him,
I like him to
Scales and Vickers, and maybe if Phillips and Lagerbielke go out, you might bring in one more there, or you might just say, well, Welsh is the fourth option. I don't know. But the way Rodgers kind of treated them in terms of not even having them involved would suggest that he just doesn't fancy them for whatever reason. So it could even be a style of play. Maybe he fancies a defender that's more like strong physically, you know, somebody like, dare I say it, Starfield. You know, he's had a lot of goals this season from set plays and all that sort of stuff. So hard to disagree.
Lagerbielke's goal, he scored like Lagerbielke's statistics. I think we were on here with Etienne and Mark Patrick Rare in the window talking about these guys when they were coming in. And the Lagerbielke statistics just showed that he was like a good aerial, like he was a good defender, like he could head balls and stuff like that. So I think that's why he, obviously was quite shaky at Ibrox, but he did kind of redeem himself in the match later on. He did kind of like have moments where he felt like he got his feet later in the game after he made those kind of Bambi on ice moments and all the rest of it. So yeah, you do need people that can definitely win the ball in the air when you're playing them, because in our box and in theirs, it's maybe going to decide the game.
Yeah, I think so. And you mentioned Sima earlier, and I think he's, I'm glad he's only on loan, to be honest. I don't see Rangers getting him either, because Brighton paid, what, it was like 8 million or something for him, so clearly just sent him out for development, not with a view to selling him, I don't think. Rangers have signed a player already. He can't play at the weekend. He's been a huge flop in the EPL as well, so people are getting their knickers in a twist about that. But maybe I'll eat my words, but that doesn't really worry me at all either. We've got to address the window. What's going to happen? Owen Yang are in the South Korean squads, so
yeah,
if Furuhashi and Maeda make their way into the Japan squad, then you're going to be really light, and you've got a problem to address there for a couple of games as well. But having guys like Abada coming back, does help. Because realistically, he's a guy who gets you goals. So yeah. We've got a break coming up. Maybe that'll be good for Vickers to kind of reduce that load, and it just doesn't seem like he can play 3 games in a week all the time. Vickers, he just seems to be getting some sort of muscular issue or whatever. But he played for America as well. Played 2 games for USA. Celtic had a heavy schedule, so hopefully a break will do him good, and then hopefully win tomorrow into the second half of the season, top of the league, do some business and then drive it home. That's what we've got to do. None of us thinking of it. Just do our own job and make sure it's in our hands. That's what we've got to do.
Yeah. Hail, Joe. Good to see you, my man. And yeah, I'd like to catch up on. I don't want to read it aloud, but you can see it. It's on screen. So, Joe, good to see you, my man. What I was going to put up on screen real quickly just now was the Instagram giveaway that we're doing for one winner, 2 tickets for the game tomorrow. We'll kind of do last orders, last calls on this one. All you need to do is find the post, like and share it, and follow, and all that good stuff. And in the next couple of minutes, we'll get that winner dished out, and then we'll be all getting set for the game tomorrow, because that's basically all there is to it now. We've got the predicted 11s in. It's all ready to go. And I think as well, like me and McBride, obviously we play a bit of fantasy football. I've ended up putting my Celtic players, maybe my attackers anyway, Kyogo and Dyson. I've put them down a wee peg for this game week. I went into camp mode with them. I didn't put them in with the big team with McGinn and McGregor and stuff. I kept the spine there. I still kept the big hitters, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll get that many goals. 2 or more would be great. But it's not a game that I've got mad optimism around high scoring as I normally do. But yeah, let's see how it goes. The only thing that matters is getting the result, is getting the 3 points, because it is, for me, a must-win game. But yeah, I'll share this tab and we'll get the competition done, guys. So thanks to everyone that's joined the stream. Thanks especially if you have just joined the stream to just be involved in the giveaway. But yeah, Instagram post, we've got that selected here. We've got all the things added in. Have to be following, like and sharing the story and all that good stuff. Instagram comments, and we've got 49 entries. What a great 1 in 49 chance of winning 2 tickets. Right, where's the button that we hit start with? It's up here somewhere. It always loses me, by the way. Where is the start button? Is it this one?
The big one that says start.
It's not that one. No, it's not that one. That's the advert one.
I
knew that was the advert one. Oh, there we go. I think we have to get rid of the advert first. Maybe that's it. Did this to me last time. Oh yeah, it's further down. It got me. It gets me every time. The advert one, the dummy one. There we go. It's all loaded up again. Awesome. 49 entries, and there we go. There's the real button there. So it's going to run for 12 seconds. We get a nice bit of hype, a nice bit of suspense. Thanks to everyone that did enter the competition, and let's see who the winner is. 12-second timer. Good bit of suspense building up here. Who will be coming to Paradise tomorrow to see the Hoops in action? 2 tickets, them and a pal, them and anyone they want to bring with them. And it is Coyle 682. Congratulations, mate. And he's went with a score prediction of 2-1 to the Hoops. Hail to you, Coyle 682. I'll be in touch with you directly just now. I think I can hit follow back and then message. I just need you to get in touch with me, buddy, and we'll get that sorted. And yeah, hail. Like Bride, I'll see you in the morning. Guinness for breakfast.
Yes, apologies, my camera's completely went ski whiff as well. So fed up looking at me, but yeah, we're having a wee Guinness in the morning, and then we'll be meeting for a pint hopefully before the game, and then we'll be going for the 3 points. Let's do it. I'm up for it.
Hail, hail. And congratulations again to Coyle. Thanks to everyone that entered the competition. Stay tuned for more stuff like this, of course. Celtic are here. Like, subscribe, share, retweet. Hail, hail. If you're going to the game, stay safe, have fun, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.